Hey there, Joy of the World friends and family. Welcome back. And if you're new to this channel, be sure to click that subscribe button and ring the bell. They'll notify you anytime we post new videos. Also, if you find you like the content we provide here at Joy to the World, give us that big thumbs up, like and share. Share with your loved ones, your friends, and your family. Let's get this word out about joy to the world. Make a change here. So, I see the world, I know it's the moon, but it's talking about our minds, our feelings, our emotions. The world is changing its tune. And don't pay attention to what you see or what's being stirred up in the news. What we're not aware of is the issues are very real and they are meant to be taken note of. But also it provides as a distraction from our faith to get into our reality as opposed to our truth. Our truth is our faith and what we're here for and what we believe and how we want to have the world come about and to be, where we all love each other, we all care for each other, respect each other, where people are given opportunities and life is facilitated and love is grown, those type of things, right? So don't get sucked into that distraction. Apply it and be aware of it, but also continue forward in faith. Continue forward in your belief and feed it and strengthen it. Okay? Now, in the past week or so, a little bit longer, they're stirring up some rubble in my home. Now, I'll let you in on this because this is part of the message. I'm living it, okay? That's often called prophecy. It's when you have to live out the example to get it deep down in your bones so that you know that you know that you know. Now, I can tell you, for some of you, the leading up to the Mars retrograde is actually going to be way more intense than the retrograde. And just like what's going on in society, this can be a distraction. It can be a predisposition to set your mind into the facet and the manner that that's how it's going to continue to be. And the way we see things, so they are, so that will come about. Like our reticular activating system, what you see in your mind's eye, it will go find and bring to you and bring to your awareness over and over and over again. And so how do we break that? We break that by preparing now. We break that by being aware. So like the temperature in this oven's been cranking up and we're wondering what's going to happen. But I'll tell you, when Mars turns, it's going to be a bit of a reprieve. It's going to be that little bit of roominess in your clothing. Like instead of the post-Thanksgiving trauma of like bursting at the seams, it's going to have that little bit of give, that little bit of room, that little bit of retrospect where you feel like you can get your breath, you can gain your step, and you can formulate your mind's eye, because Mars is going to be appearing underneath the surface in the formulations, in the I can say instincts, but really it's instinctive ideas coming up about drive and focus and clarity, that sort of thing. So aside from that, we also have what's coming, Pluto. So Pluto is working in and kind of like inserting himself sideways bit by bit by bit, creating, well, like a layer cake. And it has many layers, can I say. But it's about entering into that darkness with anticipation as opposed to dread, knowing that in the darkness there are many surprises going on there. And it's going to be revelatory and not shocking or jarring, but rewarding and fulfilling. Now, I will tell you that embracing it and the way it comes is what makes it the most effective. So to those of you who've given donations into the channel, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And that's the intro to let you know I got 2 more decks that just showed up right before I turned this camera on. Look at these, okay? I'm telling you, they're misbehaving and they're acting up, and they weren't allowing me to have a lot of control or navigation, but they're very eager and excited to speak, but there's so much to say. That's why I know these will be coming out over a time, and I'm calling them for now Magic Mondays, all right? So I'm going to slide in an extra reading on Monday and on Friday. Friday's Freaky Friday or Fun Friday, but Monday's going to be Magic Monday. And so we're going to talk about this moment of the Mars, the Pluto, those injuries. Those energies are coming in so that you don't get hurt, right? But these have to do with knowing that you can learn a lot from that which you cannot control, okay? So to step into openly embracing with your heart and being receptive to what these uncontrollable energies have to teach us, because that's how we have to learn. When we can't control it and when we can't escape it, which when you can't control it and it's planetary, you definitely cannot escape it. What do? We begin to step pace and adapt and heal is what they're actually saying here. So we're going to step into this and find out some of what's going on, because this is the vice versa deck, y'all. Look, hello. So it's traditional tarot from the traditional view, as well as what the person in the card is seeing. Okay, so it's funny that those are showing up, and this is the Tarot de la Nuit. All right, they're a little bit shiny. I'll see what I can do about that glare when I hold them up. So first we're going to find out what is up. I think with that, I want to find out what's up with the Mary L here. Come on, Mary L. This is a very Plutonian deck. But Pluto, for y'all, as far as it's at the farthest reach of our solar system, it's also at the core and the center of our Earth. So that's where we mine and we dig down and we find things like diamonds, right? We find things like insight. And, okay. All right. You going to be all three? Then we're just going to jump on in here. Because we got your central energy of what is up. Got to get those to step off. Okay, where you're at and where you are going. Let's go ahead and we're going to get some insider info on these. Give us some insider. Okay. So we got 4. All right. Okay. So, what I see right now about what's up is wanting some movement. The Chariot. And I think it's not just us. Like, if we knew it was going to work out for our good, right, we would work better with it. We'd have a better attitude. And so they're saying they want to move and work with us. The plants are definitely miffed that they've gotten such a bad rap. And therefore, we're playing into a lot of energies up to the way we see them. And as we see things, so they are. Instead of giving things an opportunity to be birthed new. But remember, the earth is already singing this new song. It's inviting and it's alluring. It's fantastic and it's magical. So they're wanting to step in with this magic and the mystery to overcome the wound. Remember, they were hinting at healing. So how do we do that? How do we restore the high heart where our inspiration, where our encouragement is? Hang on, I got to write that down. Scorpio's been talking about another eye coming in. Inspiration. Okay. See, y'all, I'm learning as I grow, and I think that's how we all do it. But restoring that inspiration, that high heart, kind of the magic that kids have and the wonder, but they have the full-on faith. This faith hasn't been tainted, tattered, torn, shot down, maligned, any of that. And they've had so little earth experience, so little of that reality that I was talking about in the intro, that they are still ushering in and believing in faith. They're believing in the magical, the mystical, those sort of things, and they want everybody to be happy and healthy. Like children cry when another person is hurting or sick because they would never wish it on anybody. Isn't that fantastic? Isn't that fantastic? So I want to get a credit card. Actually, we're going to get a rune on this baby, on this Chariot, about how the planets are wanting to work with us and our attitude going into this season. Because as we've turned and we've taken the dog leg back after the Leo season, things can start to feel kind of tight, like there's going to be a rubber band effect, but there isn't. They're going to tell us how to gracefully let go, is what I'm hearing here. I'm telling you, I can't wait to sit on the other side where you guys are and listen back to this, because they are all clamoring, ready to talk, and it's just spilling on out, so buckle up. When you see this green couch, it's like my magic school bus. You better buckle up, because we're going to have a good old ride. Okay, so they're wanting to work on home partnership required. So they're bringing home in. This is like heaven and earth fitting together, perfectly made, a cut, a tear, a splice that happened a long time ago when we left. Remember how I said children are more versed in faith than they are in reality? That's because they remember where they came from and how love and perfection lives there. Well, love and perfection is meant to live here too, but we kept playing out in these, like in a maze, in these dead ends. And they're like, you're not cut off. We're wanting to join with you. You're the perfect landing pad for our spaceship. And that's like a cosmic thinking where this intelligence is wanting to land with us. If you turn it this way, it is an eye, right? Remember, we were talking about that inspiration in the eye of God. The planets are wanting to join in and to H for harmonize with you, to tune the streams of your planets, the strings of your planets, the oppositions, the conjunctions, the sextiles, all of that. Okay, so here is where we are at. We are at the lovers. The merging of the magics. Look at this. Okay, so if you tune in here frequently, you've probably heard me talk about the red magic and the white magic. Now, what they've taught me is the red magic is the blood, sweat, and tears, right? It's like how it has been, fighting against the reality, okay? And white is our hopes, dreams, and fears. It is like that conjunction of the partnership that I was showing you. This is, and not like negative fears. This is like parameters and things that we should work and facilitate within because it's for our own good. It's for our best. Like not knowing. The unknown is often for our best because it is the mother of invention, right? Necessity. But the unique thing is when these energies meld and merge, red and white make green. They make life. When we come fully through and we don't flicker and we become whole-minded, we become synergistic. And that begins something a brewing. Like this, you talk about, it ain't artificial insemination. It is life insemination. And life begets life. So we're going to get a credit card on these lovers here, talking about restoring our union and bringing forth the color green. So remember in the Chariot, we were talking about our inspiration, the high heart. Now we're talking about the depth, the seat, the throne of the heart, very emperor type energy. Very masculine. So that's the difficulty with us emasculating life and trying to demand that we're all equal. It's equality, y'all. It's beyond a concept that we can even understand and perceive. What we do need to grasp is that colors, they're all equal. We're all in the crayon box. We're all fantastic and magnificent. One doesn't win out over the other, okay? And when they're allowed to complement and not compete, that's when we begin to see the beauty and something greater than either party involved rises up. And that's what we need to do in our connection. That's what we need to do in collaborating and embracing, okay? It's not about tolerating, because tolerating still has a level of disdain and existence in it. But we're here to, there's a lot to be said right there, to live. And they're like, we had to open them up, Joy. We had to open up the gates. Open up the gates and tell the truth about life, the truth about love, so that we can see ourselves clearly, that we can move that mountain and the great divide there in between and begin to create the union where we see each other eye to eye, heart to heart, okay? Let me make a little room here. And that's definitely about the lover. And we're actually moving through an energy channel right here. They're working it as we speak, creating this opportunity and this divine connection. Because how can we connect if we didn't know we could? All right, it's removed. We're moving beyond justice. We're moving into satisfaction. So when we pull off the blinders, when we pull off the blindfold, and we can truly begin to see, then we're operating in that divine intelligence, no longer in ignorance, which ignorance can play out ad infinitum and through cycles and get us into karma. And karma, good or bad, but karma is still cycles, right? How do we trump and overcome the wheel of fortune? How do we step into our part of fortune? All right, so those are things we're dabbling in here. This, I'm having a feeling, is opening a lot of gates. So we may not come to a ton of resolution here, but when we open these gates, it's gonna provoke dialogue between you and your spirit and your guides to begin to unearth questions. And questions produce solutions, right? Problems aren't really problems, they're questions. And each of us came as a solution. Like the water that we're made of is salt water, and salt water is called a solution. So here is where we are going. We're stepping into the Knight of Cups, a cup of love. And you see the reiteration of the red here, the blood, sweat, and tears pouring forth from your heart is a ready, free, flowing fountain. And it's made its way up to your hips and thighs. And the hips and thighs is the trigger. It is the lever that unlocks the gate and opens, they're saying, the welfare. the well-being of humankind, because the price has already been paid. But what I'm noticing as well from here, this is a gate, this is a cosmic egg, a golden gate that is opening, and the wealth of heaven begins to flow out. This is like abundance of love, everlasting love, and love produces joy. That's the flower that's springing up from it. It's beyond the scope of hope. Joy is hope that has been fulfilled, okay? Faith is the work, but joy is the fruit and the outcome. That's why this channel came about. They're like kicking me and pushing me out because somehow I survived all that Plutonian energy that I went through and have found a pretty decent relationship and attitude about it. But I still know nothing. I know nothing. I am the fool. And they're having me walk into it with you guys to get us all comfortable with it so that we can come out and be free to live this abundant life that none of us have to pay for, that it's already been paid for. When we chose to manifest and humanize and come down here, we should be operating in our humanity, in our benevolence, in our love, and in that union that we saw here to divine that love, to bring forth life. We are progenitors and creators of life. We're also these facilitators, all right? And so when we know that, we can hold in truth and not let reality win out. We will turn the tide and truth will become reality, all right? That's why we have to know the truth, to look ourselves in the mirror, to create that pure, perfect reflection. Because perfection means it all works out. That's what it means. So let's get a card on this Knight of Cups about this fountain of love and the joy rising up, as well as that golden flow of love coming from the cosmic egg. Let us in on your secrets, life. Reveal yourself to us. All right. It's kisses. So no longer does it have to be the blood, the sweat, and the tears, the proof that we're devoted, the hard work, the effort. Now it's the kisses. Now it is the reward. Now it's the engagement, and the engagement leads to the wedding. And we know what happens on the wedding night. They're like, because I'm telling you, they're aiming for it too. All this hard work, all this beaver energy, nothing against beavers, y'all. It has its place in time, but when it dams the river and the waters of life, when it dams the living flow that comes from the divine intelligence that is connecting with us here, that is bringing in the resources where we come from and what we're made of, that feels natural and true, and it vibrates and it resonates like children. Children flourish in the sunshine. They flourish in the open air. They flourish through laughter and through connection and through love and acceptance and kissing of bobos and hugs and embraces and creative stories. They do. And so do we. Somehow we grew up. But did we get better? Or did we lose some of our shine? Okay, now, so we're going to get some insider info going on here. I'm going to just say it. Now we see. Now we see. So the horse represents our power. It represents our strength and our commanding strength, the ability to mount up, move forward, rise up, to pull up our britches, pull up our big girl, our big boy undies and get moving, right? To do what needs to be done. And you see, that is not a white flag that's being waved. This is Pluto stepping in, going, not the hounds of hell. This is a horse of hell. And as the empowerment to overcome the evil, the backwards living, because that, and the misunderstandings, the misperceptions, and the misconceptions, because Pluto's like, I ain't about that. I'm about empowering you to move forward and to rise again, to rise up in your strength, to rise up in your truth. When reality produced enough effect that it tore you down and knocked you down and pillaged you and ran you over, I am the power that puts the breath back in your lungs, that puts the fire in your eyes, that gets you to rise up and to overcome and call those things that were good, but you couldn't see them as such. You were seeing them tainted, to submit and to bow down. And to bring honor to that throne, that heart. Remember the green, the life coming in. But it's reigniting your pilot light, your ability to see from the inner eye, from the true eye. Okay? And with that, we have coming in the golden day. Like you've made your choice. You know who you are and you know what you're made of. You know what your purpose and your meaning is here. You're like, I'm still discovering the meaning, but I know my purpose. And that's the pilot light that they lit. This is your staff, your rod, your guidance, and your direction. And it is your heart set on fire. They're showing me what you're showing me, actually, is when your high heart, the pink heart, and the green connect, it creates that golden light. All right. And that's the flow that was happening over here, that cosmic egg opening so that joy can rise up, where the truth and the passion come forward from. And it becomes your shield against your enemy. But we need to see about that head. There's some injury here, some heavy thinking that like beat you up, some mindsets that you had that we need to see about clearing and setting free from. What do I want to go with? All right. Okay, definitely. This is a very mental deck here. We're going to get in the light seers to see about your head. Since you have your guidance. Okay. This shows up to me as constructs. It had come in as competition and like thinking that in this case, when I this, then I'll have that, working and beating yourself up, pushing yourself forward, prodding yourself forward, like cracking the whip on your horse, instead of realizing your horse, your power has the same blazing, burning desire inside that you do, to overcome and to unionize, to bring together the red and the white, to make the green, so that the golden egg opens up and that yolk begins to flow. It relieves you of the yoke of bondage and it puts you in that form of provision and protection. But here, not having to clamor or to climb, but you're telling me to relax and reflect. In the relaxing and the reflecting is when your mind's eye, remember they were talking about, begins to there's seep, ooze, but it's not like a boil or a wound. It's like honey. Like the honeycomb being pulled out, the honey is seeping from it, it's dripping, it's oozing and uncting forward, moving forward. And we can see this what you're striving and reaching for, but I'll tell you, you already have it. Relax, recline, and reflect, friend. And that will begin to heal your head. And then you can put your helmet back on. That helmet is your mindset. It is your conviction. It is your self-assurance, is your confidence in knowing of what you're here for and what you believe in, and that you will see that life that you believe in here on earth, the life filled with love, overflowing with love for all mankind, so much that mankind begins to love one another, remember, and to operate in the humanity that we came for, not the inhumaneness, right? That we begin to operate in that grace, in that joy, in that freedom, in that exaltation, in the unionization of humankind, that we're all one. We're all one. Okay? So, thank you for clarifying that for us. Now we're going to find out what has joined us here, kind of what is going on underneath the surface of the skin, should we say. So, with the Chariot, we have the Devil. Remember they were talking about healing us and releasing us from that bondage? This is something lording over us. Remember the heavy head, the hurting head of kind of having to bludgeon yourself, provoke yourself, force yourself. That's something from behind and something kicking you in the pants and disciplining you as opposed to discipling you. Okay? So my sons, when they were young, I said, you can get it one way or the other. I'd rather be the head and get the discipline, get the teaching, receive the instruction. The best way, remember, is to know nothing, to be the fool unto life, to be the open channel who receives these information, not based on what we've heard others say about Pluto or others say about Mars, but that we can begin to get quiet in our own heart, to listen and to reflect to what they mean to us, because we are here for our perfection, a particular solution, a particular inclination, that type of thing. And so they're going to speak to us differently. If you have children, you handle your children differently. You have overarching principles, but the execution of them is individual. Now, I also talk about our love being the collective energy, but joy is the individuation. So just like that, we have the individuation of the discipling, of the teaching, of the way the information is received. And that's why they like to talk to you, give you new information, and not that it has to be backed up. It's something that you can receive and sit with and trust your guidance and your leadership to begin to show it and reveal it to you without you fully taking the reins, like damming and controlling that horse. The horse and rider are one here. They're of one spirit, okay? So that's funny that the devil got turned down. I'm like, that's right. Get behind me. Get behind us. We're not dealing with your fiery ways anymore. The path of destruction, the forcing, the making, the having, the doing, that sort of thing. There's stuff that has to be accomplished and done, but not through that mindset that's very narrow, very hard, and from it, nothing good comes forth. The energy comes forth, and that energy begets that energy, just like life begets life. And they're wanting to get in the flow of life, of that green, not the red and the white of like, oh, I remember what happened when I this. That's the red energy, right? Or to get into the, I think everything's all grand and I'm not seeing this bullshit going on in that person over there. So this is the white energy. No, they're like, marry them together and look at your strength. Look at your bond with yourself. It's free, okay? It's free. It's there by choice. It's there by choosing. But it is that union that we can clap, that we can grip, that we can take hold of, that we can move forward, and that we can do this mighty power together, okay? So that's what we learned from that damn darn dang devil. And I'm a Capricorn sun, so I don't have any problem with it. But in this case, you hurling stuff at my tree of life, trying to incinerate me and burn me up, no thank you. I'm going to take the experiences I've been through. I'm going to take that fertilizer, that whole bunch of shit, and I'm going to compost it down. And I'm going to put it on the roots, and I'm going to bear good fruits. And they're like, yes, the chariot, the lovers, they're all clapping and celebrating. So alongside this, we have the King of Swords right here. Talking about that divine flow coming in to balance all this metal out. That metal was that cutting, that destruction, that having, that making, that sort of energy. Where now, remember we talked about when the helmet goes on your head, that mindset of knowingness, of that confidence, of that confirmation, of beginning to grow and letting what you feel and hear in your heart and that reflection time, okay, and that relaxing time, that begins to steep and seep in, just like the water becomes tea when that tea bag has a little time in there. Sweeten it up how you like, friend. Make it taste right to you. And that's what we begin to do. And here it overcomes what seemed like death or a dead ending. And it causes it to breathe again. It causes inspiration to draw near to you, to come near to you. And it's almost like at the moment, this is a magic curtain. The purple has something behind it to reveal. So let's stop there. And I'm going to take a little peek to see, what do I want to go with? We're going to go with a rune. So what do you have to reveal to us behind the purple curtain, behind what's been being prepared? Remember up here with this, with the home, with the harbinger coming in. And here we have a peregrine falcon showing up, and they're messengers of truth. So he got a big long sword and some long white hair. You've had lots of experience, my friend. Okay. So we got two coming in. I'll take this one first. Perky, buoyant, happy, elated. Let's talk about we're happy people. They want me to let you know that behind this, behind everything, our genetic DNA, it's funny because I kind of got my DNA swirly curly earrings on here that a sweet friend Sarah gave to me. We have a spiritual DNA as well. And that DNA, the particles of what we are made of, remember that insemination, we are physically made of this spirit form that is happiness. That's why even when we're unhappy, we can still be happy. What we're really been seeking is the satisfaction, that infection of joy, the everlasting states of love and joy and peace, those type of things. And they're saying, get happy now, be excited about it because it's coming in. It's all here underneath the surface. Stir it up. Well, look at that king. Use your big old sword. Stir it up. Stir it up. Make some cookies. Make some cookies. Stir the pot. That's right. Okay. And now here, along with that Knight of Cups, remember the blood, the fount, the joy rising up. Why did I turn that? That is very interesting. Why did I turn that? Because here I didn't even look at it, but it's the Eight of Cups in the rear. But literally it was telling me it was face down. So we're going to take a look. Saying, honey, you're not aware of it right now, love. But your wishes are coming in. Your wishes are coming true. And they're headed straight for you, because what I can see holding up to the camera, this is going to make that dog leg and land right here. So just like our planets, remember we start off talking about Mars going retrograde, which is around September 9th, which is also about the same time I'll get my air conditioning back. whoever they ordered a unit, and I have been here being cooked by Mars for the last 2 weeks, and I will be for just a little bit longer. So ask me how I know about this energy. But what they say you don't know is you're there trying to be good, trying to be well behaved, trying to do the right things in order to earn it. And they're like, that has only brought you brokenness, sadness. So it is misshapen your image of love. And you are, look at that space and that gap. You are that cup. You are that cup. That brings in the ninth cup. I'm telling you, this is going to bring in, because really this is bringing in the ninth cup, and that's when you realize you're the 10th. Okay, that's how the 10 comes about. The 10 comes about when we insert ourselves. That's why it exalts itself to the ace of cups, ace of pentacles, ace of whatever, is because when you've been through that full generation, you don't have to go stepwise through every one of them. It's through these awakenings of our understanding, through the eyes that they talk about in our central channel, that then we are aware, and we can go from the 9 to the 10, because we're like, ah, it's me. And it's like, yes, it is you. And that's what's happening here. It's not about your behavior, your worthiness, your deservedness. You are, because you're here. You manifested your chart, your eye of God, this communion with where we came from, all of it. All of it is here. I mean, look at this. Kisses. We got partnership, wanting to join with us. The gates all open out. I mean, like, they flew open a lot of stuff. They fast forwarded you past a lot of crap. Things that could maybe take 2 more lifetimes. Thanks, Joy, for opening it. We're just going to bring it right on in now, so that you can see yourself clearly, and you can begin to live this beautiful life. This life that, this comes in, it leads straight to the 10 of Cups. Straight to the 10 of Cups. And that's like being in the forge of the fire, melting and making, because these are metal cups, making them whole. And that's where they were talking about that healing. Okay, that's why 2 came in. 1 was face down. This one's already here for you. Oh, this is the star, y'all. Here it comes. Let's find out what this star is. Oh my God. If you lived in my world, I guess that's what this is here for, so you can be a part of it. It says here and there. Skills required. To me, this is an exchange of energy, that abiding connection, where we were talking about wanting love to remain and to abide, to be everlasting, wanting our peace to be everlasting, wanting our joy to be everlasting. Because remember, he already settled it. We're made of happiness. And happiness, when we're aware of that, that is like the cellular effervescence percolating of the energy, the sparkling in our amnios. Like, if you've ever been underwater in a good, clean, clear ocean and the sunlight streaming through, you can see all these little glittering particles of the living organisms that are all moving around it. And they said, well, what surrounds us in our energy field, y'all? And this isn't, what's that everybody talks about? Aura. Is none of that. It's something totally different. It's coming from this energy, the plasma. It's how we are dream makers. It's floating around us. And so it's in that connection of knowing, because you don't want this thing to literally fly in and whack you. It's knowing that you're connected, that you're being heard, that you are genuinely and truly loved, that you are here for a reason. And all that you need, remember, these golden resources, they're here. They're right about you. And even though your helmet's off, you're looking at that and not even seeing it. It's all around you, in your choice, in your guides, in your help. And that resting and restoring that brings about your healing of your head, your mindset, of that self-assuredness, right? That's the game changer. That's the game changer. Let's see, we got to get a pearl of wisdom on that. Thank you, Pluto and Mars, for telling us about this upcoming energy. Really, what was going on was chaos, and it was created chaos. It was coming on from, getting frenzied and all worked up about something that you don't need to be worked up about. They're like, we already working. We up 24/7. We don't sleep here. We up. We're connected. We got you. We see you. We hear you. We're bringing in something that's already been paid for. You don't have to keep bleeding the love. You don't have to keep doing your blood, sweat, and tears. You paid for it. When you chose your chart and when you chose your eye of God to come into this world, now we just need to help you remember. Remember. Be put back together. To remember. Okay? You're the only you. There is no competition. Okay? There's completion. being made complete, being made whole, knowing you are perfectly held and loved. All right, so get that rest and that reclining and reflection, and get that helmet back on your head. Get your mindset straight. Come on. Boop. 31, door to value. And then it all opens up. Here's that gold. Remember when you let the red get out of the way, that feeling like you have to deserve it, work for it, earn it, reflecting on your past mistakes, any of those issues, they're like, we don't see that. We're not looking at that. We're looking at you, remembering. We hope that you awake and that you remember how fantastic you are and that we are here for you and that we love you. Okay, we're here to do that divine connection. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So here we go with Magic Monday. All right, friends and family, I'm so glad you joined me. Make sure you click that subscribe if you hadn't already. Also, leave comments down below. It's exciting to share from this side of the camera, but I'd also love to receive some input from out there and know what's going on with you guys. I'm wishing you well and the very best. Get that magic mindset back. Love you. Bye.